I know you have to be patient. You have to be patient. We're all excited to see Hazys Meatballs. I know you, especially you. And you over here. Yeah, I know. I could tell. I can tell by that smile. I can tell by that smile.
Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome to Hazys. You know at any point in this you like what you're watching, to give it the thumbs up and click subscribe. Click it for more.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hazys, a Swedball edition. You eat them by the twos. And we're going to make them. From me to you, we're going to learn how to do this right now. It's going to be one of the easiest things that you're ever going to put together and cook. And it's going to be one of the tastiest things, too, exactly at the same time. It's not meatloaf. And it's not Swedish meatballs either. We're going to take and we're going to do something magical. We're going to combine the two. We're going to make Swedballs. That's right, Swedballs. Remember, eat them by the twos. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to come in here. I'm going to show you what we got. We're going to bake them together. And we're going to eat them together. We're not going to sit here and, watch them bake. Because it takes 25, 35 minutes depending on the size of the balls. Bigger the balls, longer the bake, you know what I mean? And the more you have to chew because you can't fit the whole thing in your mouth. So you're going to want to make sure you make them to the size that's proper. But we'll talk about that later when we get in there. Ladies and gentlemen, don't be afraid to go ahead and smash up with that like button right before we get going either. You don't need to see what's going to happen. You already know it's going to be wonderful. Let's move in. Let's take a look. We got 1 meat tube, some green onions, 2 eggs. We got a 1/4 loaf of bread. We got 5 potatoes cleaned to a nice, beautiful perfectionness. We got a can of green of mushroom. We got a can of cream of mushroom soup. But if you mix the two together, it could be a green of mushroom. we're gonna add some ajus gravy. We're hiding down here. Some ajus. We're gonna mix a little bit of milk in there and a little bit of water.
Oh, that's gonna be wonderful, Hazy.
Yeah, it is, I know. Alright, thank you all for being here. Let's move in and let's actually start making this delicious meal. You need 1 large mixing bowl. And you need to clear all of the shit out of your way so you can see what you're doing. Start with your mixing bowl. Alright, you get your log of meat. In this particular situation, unlike other projects, we're going to use the entire log of meat. We're not going to partial log it. We're going to go the whole log. Ladies and gentlemen, I got my scissors. Now, these particular scissors are not titanium. These are stainless steel. I do not like these scissors as much as my titanium scissors, which someone had stolen or some dick misplaced. I don't know what happened, but I'm gonna go looking for them. And since that's the case, these stainless steel scissors, I don't think are gonna be quality enough to cut this meat tube open. So what we're gonna do is we got our meat tube knife right here. We're going meat tube into the cooking dish bowl. Look at that. Right through, beautiful, right? You wanna make sure you squeeze what's out of the tip. You don't wanna leave that in. You wanna make sure you get it into the bowl. Now, and here's the part. This is always our favorite, right? To crank the fucking meat out, right? Don't you like to watch the meat just slip out of the tube? I do. Look at that. Fucking meat out. Right? Don't you like to watch the meat just slip out of the tube? Now for the extras. Alright, we need to put the eggs in here with the meat. We're going to add the eggs, we're going to add the bread, we're going to add the green onions, and we're going to combine it together into a mellow goodness. So let's get our meat standing. You know what, let's go with the bread first. I love doing the bread. I might not even have enough bread here. But when you're doing the bread, just shred it, the snot out of it. I mean, you want to get it down, something like this. Make it look like this. Doesn't need to be big, but you want pieces so when it's all done, that there's chunks in there that absorb the gravy when you cook it into them, because then the Swede balls are full of juice, you know, waiting to burst into your mouth. And that's what this is about. So you want to make sure you finish breaking up the bread. You want to have a good, you want it evenly spread throughout each of the Swede balls. You know, you don't want your Swede balls to be one Swede ball to have more juice than the other. You know, you want equal juice in each of the balls. So that's how the bread's going to accomplish that for us. You know, I used about 8 slices of bread there, but I'm going to recommend stepping your game up to about 10 slices of bread. So what we're going to do is we're going to reach into the old bread bag. You know what? I'm going to grab 3 more pieces, and we're going to add them into the mix. That's how we do this. All right, we're doing it. It's in. Should look something like this so far. All right, now we're gonna crack our eggs, and we're gonna add the eggs straight into the mix. I like to tap them on the side of the stove. And then, let you have a peek. Now we're going to add the green onions. Now for the green onions, I actually am going to try to use the stainless steel scissors, because I still do believe that scissors is the fast way to accomplish chopping up, you know, an object like this, where there's a lot of them, you know. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy Hanukkah. Happy all the other times that you celebrate that I don't know what the fuck you're thinking of. So I'm chopping the tips off of these green onions, you know, because we don't want the roots in it, right? Whoever added the root into their Swede balls, right? You don't need like rooty tanginess in your Swede balls. You want the Swede balls to be, you know, delicious as Swede balls. The most tastiest of balls that you're gonna sink your teeth around, you know? That's what we're going for here. So now we're gonna chop the green onions into our Swede balls. Swede ball mix and an onion mix. Now, I like to wad the whole knot of onions together like this, you know, so you got a good onion wad. And I'm gonna cut them all at the same time into tiny little, you know, like little teeny snippets. But it's so much faster to speed it along. You know, and after this, we're going to have to mix up the gravy. We got potatoes to chop. Oh, easy, what are you talking about? I don't know. Keep chopping your onions, guys. They go for a long ways. You got to go all the way down. You want to get a good amount of green onion chopped in your Swede balls. And I chop, you know, I use a lot of the stem. I don't use the whole stem. A lot of people use the whole thing. There's probably nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm not saying anything for or against it, but, you know, in my personal preference, I like the stuff that's the firmer part, the stiffer parts, the harder, you know, where it's good and firm and stiff and hard. That's, you know, if you're gonna put it in your mouth, all right, that's what's left. That's our Swede ball mix, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna roll up my sleeves. We're gonna mix these bad boys into some wonderfulness. You guys like the holidays? I do. All right. In you go. You got to go in deep. You want to twist it. You want to grab it and make it squeeze. Don't you? You want to make sure you get it in deep. So all of the bread. It's like, why when you do that? Why do you have to change your voice, right? Why does everything gotta be like, oh yeah? Why can't it be like, now we just adjust the meat into a mixing fashion where it's finely mixed together. So I can't do it that way. I can't even bring it up that way. It has to. Oh, look at it. Oh. Yeah. It's exciting this way, you know? Swede balls, ladies and gentlemen. Swede balls. You use any method you can to make sure that you get a good even mixture in your Swede balls. Why are they called Swede balls, Hazy? You're gonna find out. It's because they kind of got the feel of Swedish meatballs, and yet meatloaf.
Oh, it's too hot. Oh, it's too hot. Look at the steam coming out. God.
All right. I actually think we got a good mix here. We're gonna take now, and we're gonna mix it into the actual Swede balls, and we're gonna prepare them for baking. Well, you got all this sloppy stuff on your hands. I always recommend going for the oven and start warming it up to a good 350, because you want that the nice warmness in the oven before you put your balls in it, you know? You don't want to dip the balls in when it's cold. You want to slide them in when it's warm. Oh, let me show you. There it is. Swede balls, ladies and gentlemen. Right here we're working with 3 of them, but we might break them down to a 6 pair, you know, because like I said, you eat them by the 2s. So you start with 3, you cut them to 6. We got a baking pan right here, and you notice that the oven's heating up right now to a cool, warm 350 degrees. We're gonna take our first of our 3 Swede balls, and we're gonna split it. We're gonna give her a twisty poo into 2, right? Now you got double balls. 2 balls. Look at this though. 2 balls, 1 hand. But it's so easy, right? You just mix that bad boy up, whammo. Into the pot, into the pan, into the baking glass tray. Next ball, done, whammo. Then we're gonna take the next one of the 3 original balls. Look at that, it's one big giant ball. We're gonna twist it. We're gonna split it into 2 balls, right? Do it again. Let's do it again. 2 balls, 1 hand, ladies and gentlemen. Buck and RobbyO love it when it goes down like that. Into the baking pan. All right. Kind of missed. This is 1 large ball. This ball has some swellage to it. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to break it down. And then we're going to take a little extra out of this ball here. We're going to stick this ball in this pan. We're going to twist up this ball. I took a little extra off of that ball too because it was a little larger than normal, you know. Abnormal balls don't fit so well in the baking tray. So now, we got 6 balls in the baking tray. That's right, 2, 2, and 2. That's what we're gonna eat. You eat them by the 2s, remember? But we got a little extra left over. We're gonna smash this into a smaller ball for the dog. This is the dog ball. I'm gonna put it in here. The dog gets 1 ball, the rest of us get 2. That's how it works. Now we don't need that anymore, that's just in the way. This I'm gonna move carefully. Alright, so there's our Swede balls. Whammo! Into the oven, baking at 350 degrees for 25 to 35 minutes, depending on how you mixed your balls together. Oh, but after the end of that, wait till we get the gravy in there and I'll explain that part once we get it. Boink! Hey! Alright. For no reason whatsoever. Alright, now we got our 5 potatoes. We're gonna prepare them for baking as well. We're gonna prepare them for baking. Alright, let's bake them. Whoa, hey, camera stand can't hold up on its own no more. Why is that, Hazy? Oh, because you got the legs folded in on it, dum-dum. Alright, potato time. I like to take the potatoes and cut them in half. Hold it, cut it like a star. You know, so now you got 4 potatoes, essentially, here. Fold them back together. And slice them in about inch and a half increments so they're like skillet potatoes. But I think it's just a good, quick way to get 1 potato done, you know, in that fashion. So that's how I do it. That's the Hazy potato chopping method. Alright. A moment of chopping silence. Slide these into the pan now. Ah, fuck it. Alright, now we got our potato medallions. We're putting them in the pan. About that much butter, about 1.5 inches, 2 inches. Now, with the skillet part, I just want to give them a little, like, fry job thingy. Christmas. Changed my mind. Alright, let's do it like this. We're going to take these potatoes, a little bit of butter, got the skillet ready. We're going to slide them in there with the Swede balls. Whammo! Everything's Swede balling away in the oven. Now we can put our mix together. Cream of mushroom soup. This is the gravy. This is the most important part. I like to use 1 can cream of mushroom soup. I'll use a 1/2 can of water. You know what? No, we're going to use a full can of water on this. I'm sorry because we're using Audrey gravy. If you get the chance, you're going to use a can like a beef broth already mixed up. If you don't have beef broth, ajus mix works fantastic, but it's absolutely delicious. That's also what kind of makes it more sweet ballish and not Swedish meatballs. 1 can of milk. You don't have to use milk. If you're vegan, you can use 2 cans of water. If you're not vegan and you hate milk, you can still use 2 cans of water. If you love milk, only use 1 can of water and 1 can of milk. We got our mixing spoon. Let's just give this a little mix. We want to cut down that the cream of mushroom because you know it's in a lumpy thickness from the initial dump out of the can. And then we're going to add the ajus mix to it. I love this stuff. Ajus. So then we want to kind of stir it so it's stirred. Better probably to have a fork, you know? Who the hell does it with this big spoon like that? You're never going to get the mix this the way you want. Like this. Let's move in. You want to see this. If you guys want to know how to do this, this is how we do this. You know, and there's going to be chunks in it. Remember, using cream of mushroom, so you're going to notice the mushroom chunks. So you're not going to break it all down. It'll be kind of deceiving a little bit if this is the first time you tried this, but it'll work out for you in the end. You know, it'll be kind of a brown, white, creamy consistency, just as you see right here. After about 15 minutes or so of baking, we're going to add the liquid. We're going to drain the fat liquid from the meat, from the Swede balls, and then we're going to replace it with that new gravy liquid and cook the duration. It's going to be wonderful. If you guys have not tried anything like this, I'm telling you, this is super delicious. You can serve it then over the potatoes, or you can serve it over noodles. Either way is fantastic. I love noodles too, but I'm out of them. We're balling now, ladies and gentlemen. The sad part is the extra 15 minutes it has to cook. I fill it right to the top. Apparently we're not going to be able to use all of this juice because our balls are too big. But hey, we got what we could, right? Alright, let's put this in the oven. Carefully place this in the oven. You guys see that? We dribbled our sauce all over the balls, and now we're going to place them in the oven, right next to the potatoes.
Alright, you know we're trying to make sweet balls in there. We got briefly interrupted. I gotta chop a few pieces of wood, and we can go back inside and make sure those sweet balls will melt in your mouth when you taste them. Let's chop this, let's get to it. You guys see that? That was 3 chops with 1 swing. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go back inside and finish those sweet balls.
So I'm back. Apologies, had to go out there and chop wood. We're back. We dumped the sauce all over the balls. We got them in the oven. We got this extra sauce. What do you do with the extra sauce? Let's talk about that right now. This extra sauce, seeing as how there's still enough left in here, there's actually probably about a cup and a half of sauce. The balls were too big to get all that sauce all over in there, so we did it this way. We're still gonna heat this. We're gonna put it on a low temperature and just let it simmer and let some of the water and extra cook out of it so it gets a little bit thick. It'll make a nice sauce for the top of the potatoes, you know? It'll wonderful. All right, so that's what we're gonna do. We're coming up here. I think I got the right burner. Low temp. We're just gonna low temp it, and that's exactly how we're gonna handle it. We'll see you in about 15 minutes. We'll see you in about 15 minutes.
Sweet balls are looking good. Oh, the juice is dripping out of the balls all over to the bottom of the stove. Wow, motherfucker. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a complete mess, but there's the completed sweet balls soaking in their own ball juice. Right next to them, we have our scalloped potatoes that were gently baked in the oven with a little bit of butter. They're going to get topped with some of this sauce and a couple of balls to go with. We're going to have the meat and the potatoes in the sauce. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you my sweet balls. You eat them by the 2, and you eat them with some scalloped potatoes or noodles. I'm out of noodles, so we went with potatoes, but I can promise you they're going to be delicious.
Potatoes are badass. You want to blow on your meat. Too hot to put in your mouth. Listen, these are the best balls I've ever eaten. Literally, I'm making tons of sweet balls. This is one of the best batches ever. Makes a little bit of mess in the kitchen, but man, does it make a delicious dinner. Doesn't take too long. So if you guys are looking for a great dinner, a great meal, something very satisfying, fulfilling for the entire family, go with the sweet balls. Easy does. It's delicious. Thank you all for watching. Hazys Day, 2017 year of the sexy, the day of the haze. Peace world, you know I love you. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, the oven's hot. You know, so you want to use the proper utensils when oven working so you don't burn your hands. It's a hazy tip of the day.